2.5b, order of operations on fractions. The order of operations on fractions is the same as before if you treat a fraction like division. So remember, fractions can be thought of as a sort of division. Let's go through PEMDAS again as a review. So PEMDAS is the acronym we use for the order of operations. So first off, P stands for parentheses. And we always do parentheses first. You can think of parentheses as highlighting what we need to do first. Number 2, we do exponents. Then we compute multiplication and division. And lastly, we do addition and subtraction. So let's go through a couple of examples of computing with fractions in which we have to use the order of operations. So example 1, compute 1/2 plus 1/3 the quantity squared. So looking at PEMDAS, we have to do what's in the parentheses first. So we have to do the 1/2 plus 1/3 first before we square things. To do 1/2 plus 1/3, we have to convert these to have a common denominator, right? So like before, if fractions don't have common denominators, we have to make them have common denominators. How do we do this? We have to find the LCM of the denominators. The LCM ends up being 6. I can just do that by inspection, because that will be the smallest thing that they both multiply to. Since 2 and 3 are relatively small, you can do this in your head. So to get 1/2 to be something over 6, we have to multiply top and bottom by 3. We have to multiply 1/3 by 2 on the top and bottom to get it to be 6 on the bottom. So we end up with 3 over 6 plus 2 over 6 squared, which is the same as 5 over 6 squared. And now we can use our exponent. We can compute the exponent since everything on the inside of the parentheses has been dealt with. So 5/6 squared is the same as 5 over 6 times 5 over 6, which is just multiplying straight across, 25 over 36. And that should be our answer. So let's move to another example. Compute 4/5 times 1/2 divided by 3/4 plus 1. So first off, we deal with what's in the parentheses. And within the parentheses, we have to do the division before the addition, according to PEMDAS. So let's go ahead and compute that division. In fraction division, we always flip and then multiply. So this expression, let's keep the 4/5 the same on the outside to remind us we still need to do it. We flip the divisor and change it to multiplication. So that's equivalent. We flipped the 3/4 into 4/3 and changed that into a multiplication sign. So now computing the multiplication, just by multiplying straight across, we have 4/5 times 4 over 6 plus 1. So we have 4 over 6 plus 1. And now let's represent 1 as a fraction. 1 is the same as 1 over 1. And when we add fractions, we need a common denominator. We can replace 1 over 1 with 6 over 6, so that 6 is the denominator of that fraction. So 4 over 6 plus 6 over 6 by multiplying top and bottom here by 6. Now that I have a common denominator, I can add these fractions. So this becomes 4 over 5. 4 plus 6 is 10 over 6. And then we can finally compute our multiplication with 4 over 5. So 4 times 10 is 40, and 5 times 6 is 30. I can see that I can reduce this fraction because both are multiples of 10. I can divide top and bottom by 10 and end up with 4 over 3 as my answer. We usually like to report our fraction solutions in most reduced form to be considered correct.